Pathways to adventure. Corridors to secluded beauty. Idaho's Scenic Byways can take you to some of the state's most fascinating places.
There are so many that are extraordinarily beautiful.
Idaho's byways offer an abundance of choices for gorgeous routes through the state. From the stark beauty of remote desert backroads to the soaring magnificence of winding mountain highways, Idaho has it all.
We really, in my mind, are the Scenic Byway State.
Outdoor Idaho takes a spin down Idaho's Scenic Byways.
Funding for Outdoor Idaho is made possible by the Friends of Idaho Public Television, by the Laura Moore Cunningham Foundation, committed to fulfilling the Moore's legacy of helping to build the great state of Idaho, by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and by the Idaho Transportation Department.
When you drive Idaho's Scenic Byways, you put yourself within easy reach of some interesting locations like this one, the Snake River Canyon at the Birds of Prey National Conservation Area. Hi, I'm Bruce Reichert, and welcome to Outdoor Idaho. This view is just off the Western Heritage Historic Byway, and it's routes like this one that crisscross the state, and each one of them can take us to some of Idaho's special places. Highways twisting through forests. Bridges spanning lakes and reservoirs. Roads winding along timeless rivers. In Idaho, a drive can be an adventure, a journey to places of beauty, history, and inspiration. It can be a remote trek along a dusty desert pathway, or a leisurely spin on pavement bordered by striking mountain vistas. It's all available by charting a course along one of the state's 31 scenic, historic, or backcountry byways.
We really do have spectacular driving and riding, wonderful scenery, and very interesting diversions that happen as you're driving those byways. So you start appreciating that perhaps is the way to travel.
The Byways program began back in 1977 when 6 scenic routes were designated: the Payette River, the Ponderosa Pine, the Salmon, and the Sawtooth, Thousand Springs, and the Teton Byway.
They were just, I think, identifying the scenic values of those places, the qualities, and finding a way to memorialize those for travelers and tourists. I think it's just a realization of what we had in the state along those corridors.
From those first 6 byways, the program picked up steam in 1991 when the Federal Highway Administration developed a National Scenic Byways program. At that time, the U.S. Forest Service, the Bureau of Land Management, and the state of Idaho decided to group their assorted scenic routes under one byways umbrella.
I think it's the diversity and the wide range of experience that you can have on the byway system in Idaho that makes it so unique. If you're not in a hurry and you can take it slow and easy, it's an extraordinary way to get outside and to recreate in one of the nation's most beautiful places.
They're very much an opportunity to have a very soothing, wonderful experience seeing the beauty of the state. You will never be disappointed going down one of these byways.
Many Idahoans feel their byways are the best in the country.
Idaho has roughly 2,400 miles of byways. It's pretty much the entire state. So I think it's the variety is what I think makes Idaho special. I think Idaho is at the top in terms of quality and the diversity of byways.
The diversity of byways in eastern Idaho is impressive. Here you'll find everything from magnificent views and natural wonders to historic trails and pioneer legacies. The Teton and Mesa Byways are beautiful routes just west of Wyoming, while the Pioneer and Oregon Trail Bear Lake Byways run north from the Utah border. The Fort Henry, Lost Gold, Sacagawea, and Lewis and Clark Byways continue the many historic themes of this region.
The byways are created by the local communities to tell the story of what they think is particularly important in their region, whether it's history or culture or scenery or recreation or whatever it is.
The Teton Scenic Byway offers all of those qualities in spectacular fashion. The southern end of the byway begins in Swan Valley and works its way northeast toward the Wyoming border. The picturesque route winds nearly 70 miles through forests and fields to the small town of Ashton, Idaho. The towering Teton Mountains are visible from most of the drive, offering some of the most dramatic backgrounds in the state. By car, you can start traveling the byway on Highway 31 out of Swan Valley.
Right.
But if you want to bike the byway, you'll begin your trip in the Teton Valley, near the Idaho-Wyoming border.
The biking community in the Teton Valley is awesome. It's really diverse.
The bike path runs west from the border toward Victor. It keeps riders out of traffic and in the trees.
Okay, I'll go a little slow at start. It's beautiful scenery for miles and miles that I can see around me.
Cyclists and drivers both end up in the small community of Victor. From there, bikers pedal towards Driggs on their own paved pathway on the west side of the byway.
What's really great about the combination between the byway and the pathway systems is they really parallel each other. So I think for us, it's a perfect combination.
Historic buildings and small-town charm greet byway travelers in Driggs. East of town, a side trip to the Grand Targhee Resort offers stunning views winter or summer. Time your trip just right and you'll see hot air balloons gracefully gliding over the valley. Every year, Driggs hosts the annual Teton Valley Summer Festival.
It's my hometown, and it's a 30-year-old festival. It's one of the oldest festivals in the United States. And I'm 30, and it really is a place where my heart is. It's one of the most beautiful places in the United States to fly.
Outside of Driggs, cyclists run out of their own right-of-way and take the shoulder along the byway.
Mostly I think about how lucky I am to live in this gorgeous place.
The abundant farmland along the byway shows its importance in the valley. Whether you're on a tractor, driving a car, or riding a bike, the fantastic vistas along this byway are hard to top.
It's so gorgeous.
Look at that. Awesome. Incredible.
The Tetons are a constant companion for travelers all the way to the small ag-based community of Ashton. The town is famous for its winter dog sled races and potato crops.
Potatoes is what's made Ashton, this whole area, thrive. If it hadn't been for potatoes, you'd see dust blowing down Main Street. Yeah, I've lived here all my life. I didn't really appreciate it until I left for college and then the Army. And boy, I really appreciated it when I come back. And so, yep, this is a good place to be.
From Ashton, another byway heads north into the lush landscape of the Targhee National Forest. The Mesa Falls Scenic Byway runs for nearly 30 miles, all the way to the Island Park area.
As you go uphill, the vegetation changes a little bit from wild rose and sagebrush to the forest.
The Warm River Campground along the byway is the most popular campground in the Ashton Island Park Ranger District.
It's a beautiful spot, as you can see, and it's almost always full.
Nearby, huge trout rise for handfuls of pellets tossed from the viewing platform.
There are some big fish in there.
Yeah.
Just up the road, one of the byway's namesakes comes into view, Lower Mesa Falls.
It's just a whole different view. You're up on top of the canyon looking down on it.
The majestic Upper Mesa Falls is the next stop. It cascades gracefully over black basalt cliffs, swirling down 116 feet. It's a mesmerizing confluence of water, rock, and spray.
Mesa Falls is fabulous. It's the largest waterfall on the Snake River. It's an awesome and powerful sight because you can get up right next to it. And I think that amazes everybody.
Although Mesa Falls is the most popular stop on this byway, there are many other great spots. Blooming wildflowers beckon travelers further north to the year-round recreation and wildlife watching of Harriman State Park.
Trumpeter swans mate for life.
Yeah, swans look like they're doing well.
Harriman's beautiful. It's so quiet out there. That's one of my favorite things about it.
From Harriman, the final leg of the byway brings tourists to the Island Park area. The sparkling waters that abound here are trapped inside the caldera of an ancient volcano. It's an all-season recreational paradise.
A lot of people just drive through on their way to Yellowstone, and if they only knew that it's every bit as nice outside of Yellowstone, and maybe even nicer, because it's not as crowded.
Uncrowded beauty, just what you expect from a byway where off the beaten path is the whole point. Mountains, canyons, rivers, and wildlife. This is where you'll find several distinctive backcountry byways and the Western Heritage Historic Byway. There are also an amazing 9 scenic byways scattered throughout this stunning region, from City of Rocks in the south all the way up to the Salmon River.
Each one has unique qualities. Now, they all are gorgeous. They all have some interesting diversity, and the landscape changes typically. So you end up becoming somewhat addicted to finding out what's the next one like, because they are different.
One of the most gorgeous routes in the entire state is the Sawtooth Scenic Byway. It takes you on a 115-mile journey from stark desert to high mountains on a picturesque drive to the town of Stanley.
I think the Sawtooth Byway definitely has a real broad range of views and experiences for folks. You start out in the small town of Shoshone, and you get into the lava flows, and then you get into that little sculptured canyon, and it's just so smooth and beautiful, and it's kind of a surprise there. And there's the ice caves and other things along the southern route. And then you start to peak the mountains.
Cole works in those mountains at the Sawtooth National Recreation Area headquarters north of Ketchum.
I'm Carol. Hi, Carol. Matt Lydecker.
And that's where she joined the Lydecker family for an RV trip on the byway. Local resident and photographer Matt Lydecker has recently published a new guidebook on the area.
It's an absolutely stunning drive. You get to drive all the way up, the Big Wood River Valley, which is a beautiful valley in its own right. It has a lot of history with the Averil Harriman and the resort, but it's stunning. You drive underneath the 4,000-foot face of the Boulder Mountains. Okay, Sarah, take a look.
It really shows off the colors in the boulders. So
it does.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Cool.
From the upper Wood River Valley, the road continues to gain elevation. Before long, the RV is climbing the steep curves of the highway towards Galena Pass.
It's a great drive. It's just gorgeous. And then you get up to the top, and at the summit you can look back into the Wood River Valley and get some really nice views there of the boulders from up high. And then once you cross the summit to the new Bethany and Frank Church overlook there.
Take a look, honey. Those are the Sawtooth Mountains.
It's just gorgeous views into Sawtooth Valley, and that's a real stopper for most folks. I think from the Forest Service records that there are probably more people that stop at the overlook than at any of our visitor centers or any other places. It's just everybody has to stop there.
Wow. I loved stopping here because I would commute up to the Middle Fork of the Salmon, and it's such an incredible drive.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like it.
There are many great stops along this byway, from mining town remnants to historic ranches to the Sawtooth fish hatchery. And one of the main attractions on this route has always been Redfish Lake.
And it's just gorgeous.
Oh yeah. Redfish Lake is sandwiched between some of the more impressive glacial moraines that come out of this 10-mile-long stunning valley rimmed with rock spires. And as you look across Redfish Lake from the beach at the lodge, you can see both the Grand Mogul and Hayburn. The amenities around Redfish are spectacular.
Just around the corner from Redfish Lake is Stanley.
Stanley's this unique little town that sits at the foot of this incredible mountain range. And you've got the Sawtooth Scenic Byway that connects to the Salmon River Scenic Byway, and then to the west to Boise's and Ponderosa Scenic Byway.
Matt and company continue their trip along the Salmon Byway. It runs for more than 160 miles along the remarkable Salmon River from Stanley to the communities of Chalice and Salmon, and then on to the Montana border. A stop at Sunbeam Hot Springs along the Salmon is always a great family activity.
When we are out together traveling along the byway, we hit a level of being relaxed and being a family that we don't experience in our everyday lives. And it's a good reminder to both Matt and I to slow down and to see the magic that's around us, because our kids see it so instantly in throwing a rock in the river or just basking and looking for fish in the hot springs. We are so fortunate here in Idaho to have so much in our backyard to experience and to expose our children to. And I feel really blessed that I was raised in this area and grew up on all of these things, and I get to share them with my kids.
Experiencing the splendor of the Salmon River, the Sawtooths, and the other wonders of central Idaho is a privilege many byway travelers treasure.
It's a place that you can go and refresh yourself, where you can get out and get away from society, get away from the stresses of life, and go have peaceful time. You know, it provides that opportunity, which is a crucial component for me, and I think for a lot of people.
Big lakes, lush forests, and sparkling rivers. Those are some of the hallmarks of a journey through northern Idaho, and these scenic routes will take you there. The Northwest Passage, Gold Rush, and Elk River byways near Lewiston, the White Pine, St. Joe, and Lake Coeur d'Alene byways north of Moscow, and the Pend Oreille, Wild Horse, and Panhandle Rivers byways near the top of the state.
This is an outstanding state for byways. In North Idaho, with all our byways up here, it's, you know, we've got the mountains, we got the water, the trees, it just, everything goes together.
The shimmering waters of Idaho's largest lake are the backdrop for another gorgeous drive. The Pend Oreille Scenic Byway runs along Highway 200 from the Montana border to Sandpoint. It twists for more than 30 miles past forested mountains and rocky shorelines.
This is really good bird watching.
Byway committee members John Lynch and Carol Graham are touring the impressive route in a classic 1938 Chevy.
When you're driving the byways, you get to kind of relax, you start looking at the scenery, and there's always something different to see. And when you're in an old car, it's just, wow, that's a different experience.
Traveling west, the byway runs from the Cabinet Gorge Dam through the picturesque valley carved by the Clark Fork River. Downstream, the river flows into Lake Pend Oreille through the lush Clark Fork Delta. Once travelers reach the lake itself, there are many choices for scenic stops, like the Sam Owen Campground.
I've taken my family there for years and years, and it's a lovely campground.
Just down the road, the community of Hope offers some of the best views of this huge glacier-carved lake.
Because it has south-facing slope right into Lake Pend Oreille, it has beautiful views.
And then on top of that, there's any kind of thing you want to do on the water. There's all kinds of fishing, water skiing.
As the classic Chevy winds west along the shoreline, the passengers continue to be impressed by this byway.
I enjoy looking out at the vistas, seeing the boats, the fishermen, the recreationalists out on the water. Depending upon the light, the weather, it looks different every time. It's just a really spectacularly scenic drive out along the north end of the lake.
In the lakeside town of Sandpoint, visitors arrive at the crossroads of 3 remarkable byways.
East of Sandpoint is the Pend Oreille National Scenic Byway. Just to the west is the Panhandle Historic Rivers Passage that goes all the way to Washington. Then, of course, north on Highway 95 is the Wild Horse Trail, all the way to the Canadian border.
The Wild Horse Scenic Byway follows an historic route used first by native tribes and then later by miners headed to British Columbia.
As you're traveling north on the Wild Horse Trail, the Selkirk Mountain Range is off to your left, and it's got peaks close to 7,000 feet, and it runs all the way clear into Canada.
The byway crosses the Pack River that flows out of the Selkirks. And there's even a roadside swimming hole. Further up the byway, visitors can check out the MacArthur Lake Wildlife Management Area.
And if I remember right...
There goes an osprey right there.
Yeah.
And in Bonner's Ferry, nature lovers can continue their tour at the Kootenai National Wildlife Refuge.
And as I understand it, it's one of the few refuges in the entire United States that is so accessible from a major highway. And they have over 263 species of birds that have been recorded on the refuge here, as well as all the major large mammals.
Historically, Bonner's Ferry was where northbound miners crossed the Kootenai River on their way to British Columbia. As drivers follow a similar route toward Canada, the spectacular views have changed little in the last century and a half.
When I talk to visitors that have traveled here from all over the world, really, and they're so blown away by the beauty and the vastness of the area that it just makes me stop and reflect and say, wow, you know, this really is a beautiful area to be in.
John Lynch feels the same way about living in Priest River. For him, the Panhandle Historic Rivers Passage Byway has great appeal.
To me, looking at clear blue water is a spectacular thing anyhow, and a lot of people like it. It's a water grade all the way across the Panhandle Historic Byway. There's very few hills. There's, lots of turnout so you can get off the road and enjoy the views.
In 1955, the Albany Falls Dam was built for flood control on the Pend Oreille near the Washington border. It's run by the Army Corps of Engineers, who also operate a number of campgrounds along the byway.
You go down to Riley Creek Campground, and they've got boat launch there, all kinds of nice places to camp. And then you cross Priest River, and there's a place called the Mud Hole. It's a campground with swimming beach and everything, and it's just a gorgeous spot.
From the Mud Hole and the confluence of the Priest and Pend Oreille rivers, it's just a couple minutes to the town of Priest River. Like other communities in the area, logging still plays an important role here. And it's celebrated during the annual Priest River Timber Days.
It's just a great place to live and a great place to come see, and we've got all the mountains, and there's all kinds of recreation. We've got all kinds of activities in the summer. It's just a really neat place to live and visit.
And that's what these byways are all about, giving visitors a map to the scenic and historical treasures of Idaho.
Funding for Outdoor Idaho is made possible by the Friends of Idaho Public Television, by the Laura Moore Cunningham Foundation, committed to fulfilling the Moore's legacy of helping to build the great state of Idaho, by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and by the Idaho Transportation Department.